This video summarizes the important information from the previous three that we just did about the graphs of sine inverse, cosine inverse, and tangent inverse. And by the way, we are in 4.7 part 1. So what this video does is it takes the information from those last three videos and we're just putting it all into one package so that you have really the important stuff all in one spot. In those last three videos, you could do every problem in this chapter without having looked at those last three videos, but they make this stuff make a lot more sense, the domain and range. If you don't see those videos, you're just going to have to believe me that these are the domains and ranges, which you might be fine with doing, and that's okay, but I think you'll miss out on a little bit of the depth of knowledge that you could have, so maybe go back and watch those videos if you have some time. We found that the sine inverse had a domain of -1 to 1, a range of -π/2 to π/2. Now, these are the x values, of course, and then these are the y values. This is what's coming out of a sine inverse graph. Now, I want you to know that this was on a graph that we just had, but it's also going to correspond with our unit circle. So we're looking at unit circles here. We have different quadrants in this unit circle. We have quadrants 1, 2, 3, and 4. What this means, if I go from -π/2 to π/2, that means that sine inverse is existing in quadrants 1 and 4. So sine inverse is going to be somewhere in those two. If it's not in those two, we can't do it. The range, that's the only place that those angles can come out of, is either 1 or 2. And that's going to make a little bit more sense when we do the example problems in the next videos. But just want you to realize that for sine inverse, the range is quadrants 1 and 4. I might have said 1 and 2, but it's 1 and 4 are the quadrants that we're looking at here. That's also the case for tangent inverse. If we skip down to tangent inverse is also -π/2 to π/2. Now you'll notice that the parentheses are there instead of the brackets, but it's still the quadrants 1 and 4. So tangent inverse belongs here as well. This other one is reserved for cosine inverse. Cosine inverse we saw had a range of 0 to pi. So that is going to be just in quadrants 1 and 2. This will be our cosine inverse. The output of cosine inverse will always somewhere exist in 1 or 2. And likewise, the output for either sine inverse or tangent inverse will always exist in either 1 or 4. That's going to be some important information that we're going to be hitting hard in the next several examples. So this might be one to take a picture of or write down just to have it handy for yourself when we're working on the next few problems.